Hey there, Riccardo from Uplifted. Today we're gonna see a very interesting topic, so how to uncover hidden channel revenue with automation. So what happens a lot of the time is that you start producing content, you start marketing your product for your service or for your agency in a bunch of different channels, such as YouTube, such as Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever the case might be. But what you need is you need a clear understanding of which are the channels that actually generate you the calls that turn into profitable deals. And in order to do that, what you need to do is you need to use automation to identify those channels. So it's important for you to identify a couple of key metrics. Here I define three. So the first one is leads generated each month. Secondly is close percentage by deal source. So how many deals are closed from YouTube compared to how many deals are closed from LinkedIn, for example. And thirdly, the close amount per deal source. So for example, you say you have 3 deals closed from LinkedIn, you have 2 deals closed from YouTube, but the deals from LinkedIn are of like 2x the amount, 2x the revenue compared to the other deals. So it's quite important to have those kind of metrics to understand where to focus on and where to focus your efforts and things like that. So yeah, this is something that will ultimately help you in the long term and will help you with the marketing in the long term. So regarding the structure of the flow, the structure is the following. First of all, we start to when a call is booked, then we get the content of where did you hear about us? So a question that we will ask in the call booking form. We categorize that with ChatGPT, and then we add the call, person, and opportunity to the CRM. So tools that we will use for this are mainly 3 or 4. So first up is call.com, and which is a call scheduling software. We decided to use call.com instead of Calendly, Tidycall, whatever the case might be, because it has better integration with APIs, webhooks, and things like that. So this means that it's actually better in terms of integrating that in the automation tool, which is make.com. Make.com is another tool that we will use to build out the complete automation here. ChatGPT will be useful for creating the categorization prompt for categorizing the deal sources. And then thirdly, what we will need is Airtable as the CRM of choice for us. Obviously, what you can do is you can also use other kinds of CRMs. You can use HubSpot, Close, whatever the case might be. I decided to use Airtable because that is the one that I mainly use, and that is the overall part of my business OS. So those are the tools here. So we'll start off with call.com here. So I created a test account inside call.com. Then what I will do here is I will create a new event type, and this is the event type that I will create is an initial conversation with a prospect. So what we are aiming at is adding the people within the CRM when they book a call. So for the sake of the video here, we will not give it an entertaining name. We will call it just sales initial conversation, but hopefully this is not how you name the event for the person to see. So it's important. Let's name it like that. Set 30 minutes as a duration and click continue. Now that we have this created over here, I change conference into Google Meet here, and then a couple of other topics here are under advanced. Under advanced, you can find the booking questions here, and you can find a bunch of different booking questions. So there are a couple of standard ones like email, name, what's the minimum about additional notes, things like that. We will probably add the 2 ones. So first one is company name. Keep in mind that the identifier is a field that we will need in make.com when we create the actual automation. Meanwhile, the label is what the client or what the prospect will see. So here, identifier, for example, we define deal source because this is the important one that we will use for creating the deal source. We will not put any placeholder because if we mention specific channels, that could modify the opinion of the person. So yeah, we click on add here. Make sure that we modify these notes over here. Then we go at the top and click on save. So right now, let's just preview this. Let's see how it is. So we have this initial sales conversation. We can decide a date. And here we have the information. So we have name of company, how did you hear about us, and additional notes. Right now, what we will do is we will come back over here, and then we will start setting up the scenario inside make.com. So in order to set up the scenario, here we choose call.com as the first initial module, and this is the actual trigger of the event. So what we do here is we watch for booking created, and here what you need to do is you need to create a webhook and you need to create a connection. Fortunately, I already have a webhook created, so this is sales conversation called booked, but what you can do over here is you can just click on add, create the webhook, create the connection, and go forward with that. What we have over here is we have a webhook, and we will need this webhook, and we will need to port this webhook into here. Go into webhooks. So just a recap, we are in event types, we select our specific event, we select webhook, new webhook, and then here in subscriber URL, we paste the webhook. We remove the old event trigger and just put a booking created because we just want to trigger this this webhook for events created. And what we do next is create the webhook. So now our idea is to test this out and see if this works correctly and if this works correctly. So let's just activate this, go here and select the call, and then click on confirm. Okay, so we schedule the meeting and let's go back to make.com. And yeah, as you can see, this ran correctly. So here we have the information booking created, we have the created at, and then we have the payload. Inside the payload, we have all the information about the title of the event, the start time, end time, organizer, responses also, and so on. So the most important things that is important for us is the responses. So as you can see here, we have name, and then we have the actual responses that the person gave. So name, email, location, company name, deal source, and so on. So in this way, we are able to use this different information inside our structure. So next thing that we need to do over here is we need to create a call. There is this very specific reasoning for that, and I would like also to explain that. So in our CRM, we use three different components. We use opportunity, we use people, and then we use codes. So those are the three things that we mainly use. When a prospect books, when a new prospect books, it books the call. But what could happen is that the prospect is not new, and we have an existing prospect that books a call, as an example. So what we need to have is we need to have a system where we need to identify if the prospect was already present, and if was already present, connect all the information between each other. So normally what we have is we have something like the following. So here is the situation when a new prospect books a call. Call is created in CRM, people is created in the CRM, and opportunity is created in the CRM. This is one use case. We could have another additional use case where when an existing prospect books a call. So in that case, we have a new call. We already have a new call, and that is generated. There's nothing we can do about it. But the person and the opportunity is something that we already have. So what we can do over here is search if a person is in the CRM. If the person is present, update the person by adding call, and then update opportunity by adding call. So in this way, we are actually connecting all the information between each other. So we are connecting the call, and we know that person did a call, and that call is referenced to the specific opportunity, and we can do the same over here. After this explanation, I come back here, and we go to Airtable, we create a record, and what we will do is we will create a record for Uplifted CRM copy. And what we will do is we will start with creating a call, as I mentioned here. So there are a couple of other information that we need to have over here. First off is start time. Status is depending on what we have over here. So what we use generally is schedule. Event name is the title. We can use the title or whatever we like. As you can see here, we have opportunity, which is related to the specific opportunity, but we don't need to use that right now. We have notes here, so responses. In responses, we have a field called notes. We add the notes here, and then we have additional things here, such as the calendar event ID. So we need to search this out over here, and this should be under metadata, video call URL, and then an event description here. Here, instead of title, what you can also add is you can also add attendees name, and then you can have organizer name and type. So in this way you have person name, lead name, your name, type, but you can create this however you feel like. Call created time, call created day, we just put now here. So in this way we're actually, so this is the first step that we have. Second step that we have here is we need to search for the person. And what we do here is we create a connection over here where we click on people, and then we create a specific formula to search for a specific person, and we search that person via email. So email equal, and then we use the attendees email as the formula here. So this is the thing that I mentioned over here. We use this search person, and if it's present, we update it. Otherwise, we create a new one. So let me go back over here. Click on search person. So right now we have these two elements. Now we need to create the conditional events and separate the things between each other. So we do that by creating a router, and the router is basically a way to divide a workflow into two different parts. Those parts could be activated either all, or you can activate one or the other, depending on the filters. So what we will do right now is we will set up the filters. So first off, we will set up a filter for if the person is not present, and then we will set up the filter for if the person is present. So in this way, I can show you the two things. So if the person is not present, or if lead is not present, or however you want to call it, I'll use person. The condition is the following. The condition here is that the total number of bundles is equal to 0. So what this actually means is that when you search for a person and you search for the person email, so let's put test email, we get some specific information. Now we we got this wrong because we didn't put the brackets. And yeah, let me run this again 1 sec. And here, as you can see, when we search a person for that specific formula and we don't find nothing, we have only one thing around the bundle, that the total number of bundles is equal to 0. So we use this as a conditional element to identify the thing. And then if the person is not present, then we start off with our specific deal source categorization. So that is when we use ChatGPT and when we use the completion model. So here we create a completion, create a chat completion. Regarding the model, you can use GPT 3.5 Turbo without any problems. This is one of the cheaper module at the moment, but it's still useful for this kind of things, especially for categorization and things along that nature. So I already have the system message. Let me copy that, and then I can explain you the system message and all the other messages that we have over here. In the system message, we ask to act as an auto-categorizer and respond to the question, where did you hear about us? And that is the sole job of the AI. And then in the user section, we give the categories that we generally have. So YouTube, LinkedIn, Slack, referral, Twitter, and email. Those are the categories that I identified. And if none of these categories matches, please output other. So here's the response to the question, where did you hear about us? And here we have the response that we need to add, and then we have category over here. So regarding the response, we go to responses, deal source, value. And here we have everything working correctly. Another thing that we need to do is we need to click on show advanced settings and go into temperature and change that to 0. So in this way, the output will always be the same no matter of the context, because sometimes the ChatGPT changes the concept, the output, if the temperature is not 0. For 0, the response is always the same. And here there's an additional explanation. So we define that this could be called as categorize deal source. Okay, and let's test this out 1 second. So as an example here, we can put, yeah, as you can see here, we get an output, and here we got a result, which is Twitter. I tend to use this message content here, but it seems like they modified this, so you can get also the result from here, which is great. But yeah, so this is the part related to categorizing the deal source. And one thing that you might be asking could be the following. So you might be asking, going back to call.com, why don't we add here the single select, for example? This is another option that you can follow. So this is another thing that you can follow. I tend to prefer to use the short text for a couple of reasons. First off, you'll never know about the channels where people hear about you. So it's quite important to also have something like that where the person can actually mention that, and you just categorize that based on the information that they give you. Because it could happen that sometimes you have a referral, so they talk about a specific person, or they mention a post that you randomly did on a group where you are not a part of, and by limiting the channels, you are actually limiting your possibilities. So that is that is the actual reasoning behind that. We go back over here, and then what we do here is we do a couple things. So first off, we create an opportunity. So here we create the actual opportunity, and we use Uplifted CRM copy. We select the table, so we select opportunities, and then we select the opportunity. For opportunity name, what we can put is we can put the company name. We don't have a specific deal value that we can use over here. Regarding status, we put new. Regarding deal source, like I already have a couple of those defined over here. What I can do here is I can go into choices, message, and content. And here I can put the deal source. What I have over here is I have the deal source as well as the deal source row. So in this way, what I can actually do is I can put the deal source that is coming directly from cal.com. And in this way, I also have the possibility to read those responses afterwards. Other information that we need to add over here is calls. So as far as calls, we add the created call that we have. And then people, we don't have people here. So we will add that to the people later. So now we click OK. Rename this to create opportunity, and then what we do now is we create the person by changing a couple of things here. So we just change the table, for example, people, and here we put all the information that we collected. For email, this. For name, we take the name. Phone notes. If we also have other information like that, we can use that. Cold connections. In calls, we put the code that we previously created. So the ID here. The ID is the important thing that you have over here. For opportunity, we added the opportunity that we just created. In this way, we created the person, we created the opportunity, and we added all the information related to each of those connected together. So this is the first part, and this part is finished. The other part is about if the person is found. So if the total number of bundles is not equal to 0. And here, one thing that is important when it comes to this kind of designs is that you need to have a part where you have the 0, for example, and then you have an exclusive part on the other side. So on one side you have equal to 0, on the other side you have does not equal to 0. So the system can only choose one or the other. In this specific case, there are other cases where you use the router and have multiple flows, but this is not the case. So if a person is found, what we need to do is we need to update the person. So we update the person here using the updated record module. Still select updated CRM, the base. In table, we go to people. Record ID will be here. And then what we need to do here is we need just to add a record ID over here. So we add the create call over here. And then what we also need to do is we need to update the opportunity. We create another module, update, and then here, same thing. CRM copy, table, we select opportunities. In opportunities, we get the opportunity from here, from the search person. And then what we do here is we add a call opportunity and we have the initial call. Okay, so this is the system for categorizing the deal sources and adding the deal sources directly into the CRM. There are also other things that you can do within the system. So for example, what you can have is you can have a Slack notification that you add over here, for example, or you add at the end of the call or something along those lines. But those are all additional possibilities that you can have over here. So now I think it's time to test this out and see what is the outcome here. So we go over here and we select the event. Okay. And it types some random names, name of company, Google. How did you hear about us? I heard about yourself from my friend Matt. Let's see what is happening right now. Additional notes, nothing to add. I'll click on confirm, and then we will see the event happening over here. So as you can see, what happened is the call was created, the person was not found, and so we categorized the deal source, created the opportunity, create the person. So in regards to that, in regards to the deal source, this is defined as referral, as you can see. So even this is not as precise as possible, the deal source was still categorized in the correct way. So if we go over opportunity over here, as you can see, we have Google as the opportunity. The deal source is referral, and all the other information. The attend is the person that we selected. And so we have all the information over here, and all this information can be later on used to make informed decisions. So here's code, here's people. So hope you like this step-by-step tutorial on how to build this deal source generator and automatically add the information to the CRM. Hope this was useful. If you want to build something similar, just hit me up in the link down below. Thank you so much for the time. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.